reinterpretation. Thank you. That reminded us that this will be available for you to see later on. So I'm just going to let Laura get started.
You know what, Fontel? Keep talking for a minute because I have to run around and make this notice on my thing on my screen go away. Okay.
Okay. So in the meantime, I'm just going to remind all of you that the things that you're going to see today are on the website. The web address is greatyarns.com. And if you're looking for today's presentation, on the top bar, you'll see presentations. You'll click there and it will show you the items that Laura's showing today. If you're looking for Laura's yarns, you'll go to yarns and there's a little alphabet there and click on go to the M through Z, click on Prism and you will see all of her yarns. If you're looking for colors of stuff, there's also a search window. It's, excuse me, it has a little spyglass and you can type in what you're looking for there. Barring that you absolutely cannot find what you're looking for, do not hesitate to send me an email or call me. I am here to help. We all are here to help you. So don't get frustrated. Just use us. So, all right, Laura, the floor is yours.
I'm just going to say, feel free to ask questions in the chat. And if you have a question, unmute yourself and have a go at it. Okay. All right, Laura.
And you're spotlighting me, right?
I am.
And if everybody would mute themselves, that would be great. Has that happened yet?
Yeah.
No, I'm not.
Ah.
Pin me, spotlight me. I can never remember what it is.
Well, I did pin you, but
I think it's spotlight.
You look fabulous to us.
It is.
Moving our cursors.
Sorry, Laura.
It's all right.
You know how that goes.
I do.
There we go.
That's it. Okay.
Hey.
Hi. Good to see you all. For some of you, you might have already seen some of this, but hey, I added some new colors and streamlined some things. And there's not a tremendous, well, it all depends on whether you've seen a program in the last few weeks or not. So what I am wearing is a Tencel Stripes tee. And Tencel, this is my Tencel tape, which is gone. I don't have any undyed skeins to dye custom. So we kind of reinvented a great sweater that uses up a lot of I have a huge variety of dyed colors. So this tee uses 8, 9, or 10 colors, depending on your size. And it's a nice length. It's down to here. So it's actually covering my tush. It's a simple raglan shaping, just real simple, rolled edges. And what's fun about it is it's working, of course, dark colors to light colors, but the accent stripe between every color is in the reverse. So this is the stripe that's down here, and then this is the stripe that's up here, the little accent. So that's just makes for a very fun tee. Tencel, if you have never worked with it, is kind of a miracle fiber. It's the first fiber that the US government gave its own generic designation to in 30 years. The generic name for it is lyocell. Tencel is the trademark of the Lenzing Corporation in Germany. And why Tencel is so fabulous, it is a wood pulp product like rayon. However, it's an improved rayon, and because it's proprietary, we don't really know exactly what it is, but here are the benefits of Tencel. It's 10 times more absorbent than cotton. So it stays cool all the time. It has great, because of that, it also has great dye retention and saturation, as you can see, but from the gorgeous colors that are out here. It is made from, they don't cut trees down, they harvest limbs. And so the trees grow new limbs for the next year. And so it is ecologically benevolent that way. Most textile processes are pretty hard on the environment. in this case, 98% of the chemicals that are used to make the slurry before the yarn is pushed through before the fiber is pushed through the spinneret, 98% of those chemicals are recaptured and used in the next batch. So as far as essentially a processed fiber goes, it is as natural as you can get and as kind to the environment. Now, personally, I love Tencel because, like I said, it always feels cool to the touch. It is hypoallergenic. It's very soft. This particular yarn is a knitted tube. So it's made with a very fine thread, which means that there's no pills. And unlike rayon, which you can all have fun with this if you have never seen it or done it before. If you take a piece of rayon yarn, and rayon's pretty hard, it's pretty strength, a lot of strength. So if you like try to break it, you can't, and you get it wet, and you try to break it, it just parts. That's not true with Tencel. Tencel retains its strength, and it doesn't stretch as much as rayon does. So Tencel's kind of, in my book, it's a wonder fiber. And so, because there is limited quantities of this Tencel tape left, what I've done is to put together color families. And by that, I'm going to explain exactly what I mean. So I am wearing what I call autumn. And this is also autumn right here. And it's not exactly identical. All right. The colors are very similar. But for instance, this one does not have this bright rust. And this one does not have this cool blue and brown. So there's going to be some substitutions made as the yarns are worked through. But knowing that, so in a little bit, I am asking you to trust me that I'm not going to give you something that you're going to dislike. So that's what an autumn can look like this or like this. This one has been very popular. This is Grayed Heather. Grayed Heather. Gray Heather. Ah, I don't want to put it so far forward. I can't see my name.
This is Francine, and I want that.
You want a Gray Heather? I can do lots of Gray Heather, so you're not going to lose it. Don't worry.
Okay.
Okay. But we will make a note of that, Francine. In fact, I'm going to make that note right now.
Me too.
So you guys can go, these colors are actually on the Great Yarn site. So go ahead and go and order it and order Gray Heather. I actually over-dyed some colors so that I have almost this identical thing. I really can make it look like Gray Heather. So I am going to push that a little bit out of the way. This is Desert. These are really lovely colors. The neutrals are phenomenal. You know, that's just a really lovely, lovely run. And then this is brand new. I over-dyed some older colors that I had. So I have this gorgeous run of blues and greens. That's just phenomenal. Now I'm going to push this over and push this forward because there is yet
more
these. So we have jewels here, which are the really bright and deep jewel tones, and what I'm calling radiance, which are these lighter, brighter colors. So that is what we have to offer in the Tencel tape tee. And are there any other questions about it? I think it was a size 8 needle, 7 or 8.
What is the gauge? Oh, so it's a heavy worsted gauge?
It's 5 to the inch.
Oh, worsted, thank you.
Which some people call DK. So I don't, you know, whatever, 5 to the inch. It's 5 to the inch. And here is what's kind of fun. While you have the distinct stripes on the body, the sleeves are done in half linen stitch. And instead of there being distinct stripes where you have to match this, now imagine that. That would mean that this would go over your shoulder and over your shoulder. Instead of that, these are worked 2 rows of a color and then 2 rows of another color. So the colors just kind of blend. And it's sort of whatever you have left in your group of colors after you finish making the body. It's kind of fun. Have to be a little adventuresome with this one. Are we good? Everybody good with that? Okay, this is why I did this with all of these colors on these, so I could just pick them up.
I really like the ocean one.
It's really pretty, isn't it? Oh yeah, that's kind of a fun thing, having that so close to the, all right, let me see if I can get this. Woo-hoo-hoo. Good thing my mug was open, which just went all over the table. Okay, so then we're going to come to also Tencel, and this is a really fun summer scarf. Okay, we call it yin and yang, and that's because it's done in such a way that it's kind of two-sided. It predominates dark on one side and light on the other side, and it does that because it's corrugated ribs. So it's 4 rows of stockinette and then 4 rows of reverse stockinette. And you see how when they scrunch together, they scrunch together differently, and you get a yin and yang effect. It's a really sweet little scarf. There are a lot of ways that you can wear it. You know what? I'm going to take the tee off because it's hot here in Florida, and even though my air conditioning is blaring away, I'm buzzing around here and getting warm. So, and this is going to look better not on the sweater, not on the sweater. So it's a long enough scarf that you can do a lot of things with it. Use that. And that, what I just did, gives you a very flat front. Okay, I'm going to show you all that again at the risk of showing the same people over and over again. So it's a loop. It's in half roughly. Your hand through. You pick one end through there. Now your hand goes in the other direction and pulls the other one through. And that makes a very flat front.
So cute.
Rather than having both ends go through like this. Now, when you have both ends go through like this, see the difference? See the big lump that you get there? So this also is as sweet as can be.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of tied up like that.
Yeah, very Carrie.
Yes, I think I got this from you. So we have a fair number of repeatable colorways on the website with this. And I'm not going to show you all of them because we only have an hour, this being not a free-for-all. But I am going to say that we are going to give one of these away today as a prize. So Carrie,
yes,
I'm going to pick a number, right?
You know what?
No, we got names.
We wrote names down.
Oh, you wrote names. Fantastic. Then somebody's picking a name.
Yeah.
Okay.
Chantel's picking a name out of the bowl. One name.
One name. Jan Lee.
Jan. All right.
Jan.
So you're going to go to the website and pick one of the colors, and then just email Chantel and tell her what color you pick, and I will ship it to you.
Very good. What's the name of the scarf?
Yin and Yang.
Yin and Yang.
It's in the chat too. It's written down in the chat.
Great.
Congratulations, Jan.
Thank you.
Yahoo!
I don't have enough things from Laura to knit yet.
Yes, I know. Oh, well, these
did some organizing over last weekend, and Laura, I think I found 10 kits of just yours.
Oh, gosh.
We're all the same, for sure.
You're singing to the choir, Jan.
Yep. Yeah.
Yep. So we're going to now move on to something I've called the dynamic duo. And many of you may remember Triple Treat, which had 3 different patterns that all use the same ingredients. Well, this uses the same ingredients as that, which is a skein of Radiant Petite Madison, a skein of Shimmerati, and a skein of Petite Madison. And the first thing that we did was actually to repeat the Jaipur scarf, which has been a very popular piece, but with a totally different take on the colors. So in this case, I used chroma colors, part of our new color line, and accented it with this really deep, rich raspberry. So the Shimmerati is the raspberry, and the Radiant is this apricot color, and the Petite is the olive green. And this is a generous enough scarf that honestly, if you were somewhere in cold, it's almost a wrap. Again, very soft, very malleable. I have often said, oh, you can use a shawl cuff, and by God, I finally found them and I remembered to bring them. This again is long enough for my favorite way of wearing, which is, you know, one through and then through in the other direction. And it's fun. It's a fun piece. It's a potpourri of stitches, a sampler of stitches. And I will say that I very carefully selected the stitches so that they look good on both sides. So you don't have to fuss. You don't have to worry about, oh my God, is this the right side showing or the wrong side showing? And so that's one of the pieces. But what is really new is the dynamic duo wrap. Okay. And this is a very long, large arced wrap. You do the bottom band and then you use short rows to make that curve happen. Short rows combined with some decreasing. And it's asymmetrical in that this edge is not nearly as long as the other end. And what I love about this wrap is that when you wear it, so I'm starting with the stubbier end over one shoulder. You know how hard this is to do by looking at yourself on a screen. When you get it right, it does the most lovely thing in the back because it shows, here we go. It shows the multiple curves basically. So it's really a lovely piece. And if you don't like it wrapped, so here, when I keep saying this would be a great piece for a shawl cuff, this is what I mean. So I don't know if Fontel has any of these. This is an artisan who takes old belts and cuts them into pieces and puts snaps on them. So this becomes a cuff that holds your shawl on, which I thought was kind of cool because shawl pins are sometimes, they're great, but sometimes they kind of, depends on how active you're being. Sometimes they can kind of get in the way. So the other thing I love about this is that these long ends do this beautiful curl around thing. And you can see the asymmetry of it. It's definitely longer on this side. And I have one more really interesting thing to show you about this. And this is.
And Laura, I'm just going to tell you that, yes, I do have shawl cuffs. They come in black leather or in taupe colored leather, and they have a silver opening for them. So they will work beautifully with this particular piece. So.
Absolutely.
They're on the website.
Perfect. So now here's a little color lesson. So in this piece, there's quite a bit of contrast. The apricot is a lot lighter than the green. So you can see what happens when you have high contrast. In this also, there's high contrast. So you've got a really deep purple and then this soft wheat color and then a multicolored Shimmerati working with it. Here's the same piece with a totally different color bent. In this case, these two colors are very, very close in weight, even though they're different in hue. So it's a deep purple and then an olive. And so the patterning is much more subtle. So you can go either way on this. And the colorways that when you see them on the website, the colorways run the gamut. So that is just something for you to keep in mind when you're selecting colors. If you want to have, okay, let's look at how different this looks. So if you want to have lots of the pattern showing, see how much pattern shows there, then you want more contrast because you see this one doesn't have, the further I get away, the more it is about the colors as a whole and the less about, and the shaping, and the less about the individual stitch patterns. Okay, so that's the high contrast versus the low contrast. And there are multiples of both. But I thought that here it would be fun to show you a few of the different colorways, because that is really stunning. And these colorways are all on the site. But I think that's just beautiful. And I thought that this was really elegant and beautiful as well. So they make for a different, both of these would have this effect. You're going to see the pattern stitching. In this case, this is really going to become an accent, much like it did here, like that raspberry is here. You're going to get that feeling with that blue sequined yarn. So, do I have any questions about that? Okay. Thinking about those same yarns, this is also quite new. And this we're calling our Sprouts tee. Now, this is the same raglan shape as the stripes tee that we were looking at, but whereas the Tencel stripes tee has more ease built in, this one I thought of as being a little dressier, and so a little more feminine. And so there isn't the same kind of ease on this, all right? This is much more of a fitted sweater that you would wear, I don't know, wherever you wear your sweaters, but.
And what was the name of that?
It has.
You don't need to
Sprouts.
do that.
This is the
I'm on.
Sprouts tee. Now I'm going to get close enough that you can see the pattern stitch here, which is why it's called the Sprouts tee. Okay, this is the only way I can deal with this, so you just have to put up with me getting up here once in a while. It's a really pretty little pattern stitch. So now you can see where the pink comes in, because it is throughout the surface. And so you have a main color of Petite Madison, and then the contrast color of Petite Madison that becomes your sleeves, and then a shimmerati that in this case matches the background. So they're both jade, but you still get the texture and the sparkle of the shimmerati being there. Now I do have colorways to show you of this, and these colorways, excuse me, I don't have little labels, but they are on the website. All of these that I'm going to show you are on the website. So this is one. Now in this case, the green, it's a slightly darker version of the main color. So you would have the little apricot sleeves and this little apricot running through the body. And then this portion of the pattern stitch is just going to show up a little bit more. I think this is, if you like color, I think that just really would be so fresh and bold.
I love that, Laura. Oh, so pretty.
Yeah. Yep. I think I'm missing a skein. Okay. In this one, the main color is the violet. And then the accent, the sleeve is the green, and the accent. Now, in this case, the shimmerati actually has a multicolor in it because it ties in so very well with the purple and the jade. But it's the purple that's the main color. I think I needed the skein to fill somebody's order, so. And oh yeah. So this is almost like mine, only kind of changed up in that these are much deeper colors. So the violet is the main color, the forest green is the sleeve, and the shimmerati matches the violet of the body. So this is going to have the same effect as this one. And then, and I just think this one's kind of wild, but it appeals to me a lot. And that is, well, let's take a neutral combo. So this is shale, and shale is, you know, it's taupey. So the Shimmerati is just a little bit darker, but man, zing it up with that. So you get that as the sleeve and through the body. It would be absolutely beautiful. Or if you want something really sophisticated, just do it with cream. So the sleeve becomes cream, and the little sprout pattern is cream with that neutral background. Or go deeper. So your sleeve becomes that raspberry, and the sprout pattern throughout is the raspberry. So that's a bunch of different options. And I have this here, and oh, I know what this was, sky. So it was, I must have needed it to fill an order. Sorry about that. So what goes with this, I can't believe that. So what goes with this is something more like this. So this is a much more tonal kind of thing going on, where that's your body, that's your sleeve, and it really is like the sky. A little bit lighter blue than this running throughout it. So, okay, we have any questions about that? Well, all right. Here is my little interlude where I'm going to tell you, in case you don't know yet, about the event that we are doing next spring here in St. Petersburg, in my studio, in the museum that I'm a trustee for, at my yacht club, and then on a ship out of Tampa. We had planned this for last year, which obviously got canceled. And we were all kind of devastated. And then good things came from that because we got clever and started thinking about it and started doing these things. And so we've kept in touch with people, and that's great. And of course, I haven't stopped creating. And so this event is back on for next spring. And I'm going to turn it to Fontel to give you some updates or a little more information on that.
All right. So next spring, starting on March 30th and going through the 7th of April, we are going to all meet in St. Petersburg, Florida. Laura is going to teach a wonderful color class in the Museum of Fine Arts. We've arranged for a private curated lunch afterwards. And then we're also going to have a tour, and it will be led by one of the docents. So that's going to be a really special event. The following day, Friday, we are, okay, get ready for this. We are going to visit Laura in her warehouse. So we are going to tour, we're going to shop the warehouse, we're going to see. I can tell you that the warehouse has bins and bins, and you pull out a bin and it's just got the most delicious colors you've ever seen. And it goes from the front to the back.
Tons of models.
Just a room of models that we get access to. We can try them on, we can have our own little fashion show. I mean, that really is a very special event. It probably will never be duplicated. And so it really is, it's an overused term, but it's a once in a lifetime event. That evening, we're going to have a private dinner at the St. Petersburg Yacht Club. And this all kind of started because both Laura and I were last year celebrating our 35th anniversary of being in business. And about 34 and a half of those years, Laura and I have worked together. Carrie, who's sitting beside me, was instrumental in bringing the two of us together. She's been a longtime sales rep. I'm the retailer, she's the sales rep, Laura's the wholesaler. So we bridge all of the facets of the yarn industry. So we were going to celebrate that. Well, guess what? It doesn't matter whether it's 35 or, in this case, 36. It's going to be 37. So that's part of the impetus for our special dinner. Followed the next day, we're all going to be transported to Tampa, to the port. We're going to get on a ship called the Brilliance of the Sea. Laura's coming with us. We have 2 full days at sea, which Laura will be teaching, further teaching about color and so forth, and some special things. We also, those of you who've cruised with us before also know that I kind of stay up late. And so I'm going to teach little workshops in the evening called Nightcaps. And we have another friend joining us, and she's kind of an early bird like Carrie. And so they're going to do an early bird kind of little classes for you. So we're going to keep you busy, but not too busy. So if you're interested at all in joining us for both the land and the cruise, or the land only, or the cruise, we've got it so it's set up. You can do either or, but we think it's a fabulous combination. Again, look on the website. I'm happy to send you information. We have people signing up now. Some of you that are joining us now are already signed up, bless your hearts. So we really are excited about this event. So I would encourage you to do a little exploration, and we'd love to have you come join us.
For sure. Yeah.
All right, Laura.
All right. Well, you all should know that I have been for 2 full years now, because this entire past year and the year leading up to the event, I have been devising classes and garments and things that I have held back that nobody has seen. So it will be a really special event in that it's not going to be a repeat of, if you've taken classes with me before, it's not going to be a repeat. There might be certain parts that are repeat, but it's really aimed at a fresh way to look at things. And I think it's going to be a blast. You can take as much out of it as you want. Even if you don't care about what it is, you'll have fun, simply because there's so much to play with. Even in classes, if you're not interested in the specific thing that I'm trying to get you to do, fine. You can just sit there and swatch with all the yarns that are there, because there will be lots and lots of fun stuff to do. So anyway, it's never not fun when we're around. So please do come join us. All right, we're going to revisit an old favorite. This is not that old, but remains one of my all-time favorite things that I've ever designed. And I will give a nod to Eileen Fisher, because I actually bought a little boxy top of hers ready to wear, because I liked how it fit so well. So I took the shaping for this from that Eileen Fisher piece, and it is that Eileen Fisher aesthetic. It's very big and boxy. It's what she calls it her box tee, and it is boxy. It's lace linen. It's 2 strands of lace linen held together. So it's I think it's 5.5 to the inch, and it's only 4 colors. So all these beautiful stripes happen by combining those 4 colors, 2 strands at a time. Sometimes it's the same color. Sometimes it's 2 different colors, and sometimes it's wacky, because you wouldn't think that putting, can you see that avocado green that runs up here? That also is right there. See that green stripe, that avocado green stripe? You wouldn't think that blending that with, say, this orange stripe would look great, but it does, because that's what this is right here. And so you get all these lovely nuances of color in this piece. And this tee, this has now been machine washed and dried several times. Every time I machine wash and dry it, it gets softer and drapier. The reason it works is because the armhole, you want the armhole to be as tight as you can stand it to be, within reason. I mean, this isn't not tight on me, but I can get like 4 fingers in there. So you don't want it big and gaping. If it's big and gaping, you lose, see what happens? It's big, but when I put my arms down, it comes in to be my size. If your armhole is big and open, it stays out. So that's kind of a little trick I learned by looking at Eileen. But I have some new colors. So we've shown you this before, and there are a number of colors on the website, but here are some new ones. So this is Desert. We did it first as a kind of one-off unique, but people have liked it. So we have Desert. I think this one would be gorgeous if you like deeper colors. This is Tahoe. And this is Freesia. If you don't, like, not everybody is fond of that yellow, avocado-y yellow green. So this takes you in a different direction, as does Aruba, which cools it down by putting in some more blue greens. So now here's the cool thing about this. This was in Vogue Knitting, so I cannot provide you with this pattern. Other fit thing that works. See how this is shaped here at the top? That's the other reason it works, because instead of this being just a box like this, so that when you put your arm down, there's all this fabric, it follows your arm down. So that's the key to why this works so well. But I can, and I will, include in every one of these the pattern for this tunic, which may suit some people's preference better, because this is longer. Okay, so this totally covers your tush, and it's A-line. So you have, again, it's been washed and dried in the machine several times, and you can see how drapey it is. It's the exact same ingredients. So the same number of skeins that it takes to do that, it takes to do this. So your pattern will come with this. I mean, your kit would come with this pattern, and you have the option to do the Vogue. It also, this comes in a dress length, which is here on my mannequin. And that just takes one additional skein of yarn to do. Now, the way these are all constructed, you're noticing, in panels. And that's part of the playfulness of the color, that you have the fronts and backs are 2 panels. And these are joined together on the right side with a 3-needle bind off that gives you just a really lovely little punctuation. Same thing here. This has more contrast within the colors. Those are all kind of at the same level. This has a distinctly dark color in it. So notice that the dark isn't used very often. So, but having the stripes mismatch is part of the fun.
Laura,
I never wear these pieces. Yeah.
Laura, when you were talking about the Vogue pattern and so forth, I went online and I was able to purchase the Vogue pattern separately. So if people are wanting that, just let me know, and I'm happy to include that along with their kit. That'll be my little gift to you.
There you go. Perfect. Perfect. I'm glad to hear that it's up there individually. It's hard to keep track and keep following everything that every magazine and a publication does, but I'm glad to know that they've got it up there individually, because this has really been a really excellent seller. There we go. And I can't say enough about how much I love these linen pieces. They're fabulous, and they're fun to knit. And oh, by the way, we have a proprietary finishing procedure that we do. So our linen is already softer than anybody else's linen, right out of the box. So if you're thinking, oh, linen, first of all, it's lace weight linen. That's more flexible to begin with. The more you work it, the more flexible it gets. But our softening, people have told me, I think it's true, and many people have told me that they think that this is the softest linen they've ever worked with. So if you've never tried linen, now might be your time. Okay, what else do I have for you here? Oh, Laura, speaking of linen.
Laura, may I ask a question? Someone wants to know how difficult it is to add a sleeve to the tunic. So the tunic that you had on, which
it's a set in shaping. It's a set in shaping. It's a standard-ish. Yeah, it would not be difficult. I mean, I could write that in 20 minutes. So
fabulous.
I'm guessing it would take. I'm guessing one extra skein would do it.
Perfect.
And then you'll just have to figure out where you're putting all the colors, to make sure that you've got enough. You're going to play with it. It's definitely not a piece where you're going to get all bound up in every stripe being exactly like the pattern is. There's just no need for that. You just keep kind of track. Since you're not trying to match the stripes, just keep track of how much color you have left of everything, and make sure you don't use it all up before you finish the last sleeve, so that you have some of it in every place. Yeah, we could do that pretty easily.
Great, thanks.
So there's also these fabulous, and these are older pieces, but they are just wonderful. This is lace linen, single strand lace linen in a little chevron stitch tee. That is a super duper layering piece. You do have to wear a tank underneath it, but look at how cute it looks over my dress. You know, it just gives it a little fresher look. So that's lace linen. The exact same pattern can be done in sport linen for more coverage. So there's really no difference in the pattern. You're using, the gauge is the same. It's just a question of whether it's going to be sheer or have better coverage. Okay, these happen to be 2 different sizes, but you know, that's what you get when you have them sent out to different pattern knitters. They all make different sizes. So we have a bunch of colors of, a bunch of colors of linen, both sport weight and lace weight on the site. And I mean, at 2 skeins to make this tee, that's a great little add-on. And, you know, it's hard to find great knits that you can wear when it's really hot out. And these definitely fill the bill. Any questions about those? Okay.
Sorry, Laura,
and one more linen piece. And
what's the name of that
yes.
one? What's the name of that tee?
The chevron tee. Chevron. So linen I think it's, Fontel, I forget on the, I look at your site all the time, but now I don't remember.
Yeah, linen chevron tee.
Yeah. And then you just have to be specific on whether you want the lace linen or the sport linen.
Correct.
So along that same line, here is more of a traditional, well, more of a sweater. This is sport linen that has had stripes of stuff added in. So it's worked on a slightly larger needle. So it has a little bit of airiness to it. Again, you can see my black dress underneath it a little bit. And periodically, you add in a strand of stuff and you work it along with the linen for a narrow garter stripe. So that's just a lot of fun. And it's a great shape. Again, it's a little boxy in the body. It works because the sleeves are narrow. Okay, it doesn't make you look big because the sleeves are narrow. You put your arms down, it drapes. Garter edges, rolled edge here and a rolled edge here. We've had the question before of, could you do this less? Yes, of course, you can do it less. You could do it in garter stitch. I mean, always you can customize your knits, and always, Fontel in particular, but me as a backup, are here to help you do those kind of customizing things. You know, we like that. So there's a few colorways. Again, these are on the site, but just so you can see them, I think that is so fresh. I think I called it fruit salad. It is so fresh looking. That would be so charming. If you like stronger colors, this I think would be gorgeous. See, you have that beautiful rust, and then this is a deep green and this is a deep blue. So that's going to play very nicely. This is more in the jewel tone range. You've got the deep sapphire, which is blue violet, and then that bright avocado and rust. And then this one, this is gorgeous too. Beautiful jade green, 2 shades of purple, a magenta-y one and a purple one. And then this is beautiful, sand and sea. And I think that's just lovely too. There's also one on the site called Beach. I just sold it, so it got shipped out to someone, but it's white with neutrals. So yeah, lots of really fun possibilities there. Absolutely. Okay, how we doing?
We're good.
We're good. Perfect. Yeah, we are. All right. So now we're going to tempt you with a little stuff project. If you've never tried stuff, this is the perfect start to trying stuff. Now, stuff is our yarn that is composed of 25 to 30 different hand-dyed yarns, different textures, different tones or colors, all tied together end to end, so that as you knit, it changes from one to another to another. And that's what we were showing here with the linen. So that's what was giving us the textural difference in these stripes. God, this just keeps feeling like it's going to fall out. That's what's giving you the textural difference here. So this is a 1 full skein, which is 300 yards, wrap, which this is a fabulous size for a wrap. And it's because it's that yarn over purl 2 together that gives you so much openness and makes the 1 skein go a long way. Now we added tencel tassels, which as long as I've got tencel, I can match pretty much any color that I have, but they're optional. You can do it or not do it. And this is a wrap that is small enough to shove in your purse, so that when you wind up in a restaurant where it's just so cold you can't stand it, you can pull it out and put it on. Or, you know, you can go in with it that way, and if it gets cold, well, you can bring it down over your shoulders. So that's a really fun piece. And this can be done in any of the colors of stuff that we make. So I don't know, Fontel, what did we decide? Do you have stuff colors on your site, or they just go to mine and order from mine?
No,
I mean, order through you, but pick the colors from mine.
They are on my site, Laura. And so what the customer will do is go to Yarn and Prism. And then if you scroll down, each quality of stuff has its own designation. So wild stuff will be here in the colors, cool stuff will be in another. So they're all kind of close together. So, and again, as Laura said, you can choose the kind of stuff and the color that you want to do this. And this is 1 skein. So, and light stuff is also on there.
Yeah. So this is wild stuff. Okay. And this color is Shadow Rose. So that's kind of fun if you like being a gypsy. Wild stuff is the wildest of all of them. Has a lot of eyelash in it, and this is a nice way for eyelash. You know, this is a nice fun thing. A lot of metallic, a lot of eyelash, a little bit of kid mohair and wool. This is a 1/2 skein scarf. Okay. Now that's pretty darn good for a 1/2 skein of stuff, and this is really a lovely little piece that you know, truly, if you've never tried stuff, this would be the way to try stuff. This might look really good with my little cuff here. That's kind of fun. So yes. So this is layer stuff. Layer stuff doesn't have any eyelash in it. It does have a few little poofy things, but it doesn't have any eyelash. And we also have cool stuff. And cool stuff is like wild stuff, but doesn't have any wool or mohair in it. So you really can kind of pick what you like to do with that. And I'm gonna go for falling leaves. What do you think?
Oh, I think so.
If you get the newsletters from Great Yarns, you will have seen this or will see this on the newest newsletter. This is a little temptation for fall because this is a fair amount of knitting. This is the Chroma range of Symphony. And this jacket, again, following that Eileen Fisher aesthetic of big oversized body, slender sleeves. So this is really fascinating in its color work. So the way that this works is with short rows. And what's here has been mirrored here. And the same thing on the back. What's here is mirrored here. And they're pretty easy short rows. So if you've not tried short rows before, that's a really, that's a pretty good project to start. And I'm gonna get up, I'm gonna show it to you in this. This was the original. This is a scarf called Keyed Up. All of these are on the website. This is a scarf called Keyed Up. So that's how the short rows work. It's a very simple kind of short rowing that is not intended to shape anything. It's strictly there for the graphic ability of it. So look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? And what you get, like with the pencil stripes, because, and trust me, I had to work hard at getting this to be right. This color becomes the dividing color between these two. So you see how the colors run through each other? It's very interesting. So that is our last two pieces. Whoop. And I bet you we're, I bet you we're at that time. Oh, no, we're not. We have a few minutes left. Well, Heidi ho. Are there any questions?
Yeah, does anybody have questions? Open up.
Yeah. Laura, I think it's just, I love the explanation of how you move the color to the knife line side to side. I think this piece is absolutely amazing. Yeah, it's just stunning. Thanks for bringing it to the camera so we really can see the colors and the detail.
Yeah, it's always fun, you know. I mean, this kind of color shows so much better on camera, but not everybody likes those really bright colors. And I do think that the color in this is just so yummy.
Spectacular, yeah.
And the symphony yarn is absolutely the most glorious yarn I have ever worked with. It's just,
it is, and I do have a question on that. Is there a way, if one has heavy arms, to make the sleeves not so fitting?
Absolutely, absolutely. It is nothing but a drop sleeve. Okay, so you would simply not sew up. Whatever your armhole depth needs to be, you sew to there.
Okay.
And then we just recalculate the sleeve so that it will fit into that. And because it's not set in, it's just a straight shot. If you tell me you need it to be 10 inches deep, then it becomes a 20-inch sleeve, and that's easy. Very simple.
Okay, thank you.
So how much ease do you have in the upper arm on that?
Me personally?
You personally.
Okay, well, let's look. So this sleeve is 5 inches deep. So the armhole is only 5 inches deep. So it's a 10-inch circumference sleeve. And it is hitting me, see, it's hitting me right above the elbow. So right above the elbow. And I think I think I'm probably 9 inches. I think there's about an inch of ease there. But I'll take it off and measure. It's because the no, and 10 inches. I'm comfortably 10 inches here. So when I put it on and there's ease, that's because knits stretch, right? They give. So it is not dead there on my arm. So it would be your circumference right above your elbow. So those of us who have heavier arms, it tends to be up in here, not so much at your elbow. Because the other thing to remember is that I have really broad shoulders. I just do. I mean, whether you guys realize that or not, I have very broad shoulders. So look at how wide this is. You know, it's a really wide piece. And you can tell where it's going to fall on you by looking at the schematic. I don't remember what the width of it is, but say it's say it's 56 inches, say it's 60 inches, I mean, whatever it is. So you can look at that and you know that half of that is going to be from your neck bone to wherever, and that's where it's going to hit you. So think about this as more of a deep cuff than a sleeve almost. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But still something that can be made wider for sure.
Absolutely, very easily.
Yeah.
Again, because there's no shaping, it's just leaving a deeper slit.
That's so beautiful, Laura.
And the pattern is sized, and that's the only difference is the sleeve.
Oh.
In all of the sizes, because, hang on, we'll just take a measurement on this puppy and see how wide it is. This is not a proper measurement here. I mean, it's not really a proper measurement because yeah, it's 60 inches. So it's 30 inches across the back. So yeah, from the base of your neck, 15 inches down is where it's going to hit you. Which goes against everything that I've always said, which is that bring your shoulder line, bring your shoulder line up. But that's in a different style than this. Yeah. In this one, it works. And it just works because it's that very loose, halfway between a jacket and a poncho almost, you know, close to a swancho. I just learned that.
Before we have to go, and we don't want to, but any other questions? Anything we can answer? All right, Laura, every time you show us something that maybe Fontel and I've seen before, we learn something else.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we love your descriptions. So yes, thank you so much.
And thank all of you. Thank you. Thank you, Laura. Thank you a bunch. And
thanks to all of you for being with us. Yeah.
Yes. Gosh. Yeah. Absolutely. You know, this is fun for us. It's just such a nice way so that we get to see you and hear a little from you. You know, it's so nice. And I'm so glad that you joined us today. I'm glad you won. And because I know that Jen is the queen of symphony right now. So I can't wait to see the new pieces. Thank you, Lisa, for joining us. Thank you, Dolores, all of you. I can't say hi to everyone, but thanks again for joining us. We do truly appreciate it. Let me know if I can help in any way.
And come join us on our event.
Yes.
Yes, please do.
All right. We're going to say bye.
Bye now.
All right. Bye-bye, everyone.